Hello, hello, hello. This is Alyssa's fault again. We've got us a traffic ticket, Donnybrook. Judge Hayward.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm back.
All right. So, Mr. Billingsley, if you'll come on up for me. So you can come on up to the computer. That's the best way to hear you and see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to put Mr.
And Your Honor, so Mr. Billingsley is aware the state would offer to reduce his speed to 80 and a 65.
He can't drive 55.
All right.
And the state would offer to reduce his ticket to 80 and a 65, and it'd be a $100 fine if Mr. Billingsley would like to take that offer.
Mr. Billingsley?
That reported on my license?
It would be, sir. It's 15 miles over, so it would be reported.
No, I'm going to court. I'm going to trial.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're already in court.
So, Mr. Billingsley, can you see Mr. Tipton?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Is that the DA, Mr. Tiffany?
It's the solicitor, yes.
Yes, okay.
All right. So this is case 2024 TK 00106. Louis Edward Billingsley. You're before the court for speeding 16 to 20 miles per hour over the limit. Mr. Billingsley, Ms. Johnson, I'm sorry, let me try that again. So, Mr. Billingsley, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to provide any evidence or testimony. You do not have to testify in any way or present any witnesses. But you do have the right to ask questions of any witness brought by the state. So what that means is you wouldn't make any statements, but you would just ask questions about their testimony or about the situation so that I would be able to understand what it is you want me to know about what happened. So let's try to avoid making any statements or saying things like, well, really what happened was, or what I observed, because you have the right to remain silent. And until you decide to give up that right to remain silent, then we don't want you to make any statements and jeopardize that right. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. So the state's going to present their witnesses. After they finish questioning the witness, you'll be able to question a witness, and then we'll go from there. At the end of the trial, whether you make a statement or not, whether you wish to testify or not, each side will be given the opportunity to make an argument to explain to me why I should rule in your favor. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Tipton, call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to call Officer Jeremy Parks.
All right. Officer Parks.
I want to number down the ticket.
Good morning.
I want to fight that.
I got that, Mr. Billingsley. Hold on just a second for me. Officer Parks, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
I do.
All right. You can put your hand down. All right. Mr. Tipton, your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer, would you please state your name for the Zoom call?
It's Officer Jeremy Parks with the Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you been with the Clayton County Police Department, sir?
A little over 3 years now.
And what's your official title?
I'm a field training officer.
Okay. And as a field training officer, are you post-certified?
I am.
And being post-certified, are you authorized to issue citations and make arrests and investigate crimes?
I am.
Okay. So when did you become certified?
August of 2022.
Okay. So I want to draw your attention to December 21st of 2023. Were you working with Clayton County PD?
Yes,
Were you post-certified at that time?
I was.
Okay. And you have to do a certain number of hours to keep that certification up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you up to date at that time?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Okay, so did you have occasion to, well, let me ask you this. What were your duties that day?
Answering calls for service and traffic enforcement.
Okay. Uh, did you have occasion to perform traffic enforcement on I-675 near Highway 42?
I did.
Okay. And during that, at that location on that date, did you have occasion to make contact with Mr. Lewis Edward Billingsley?
I did.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Billingsley on the Zoom call?
I do.
Can you identify him by an article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing a yellow shirt.
Okay. Thank you. So why did you make contact with Mr. Billingsley?
So I was traveling southbound on I-675, right at the Forest Park, between Forest Parkway and Highway 42. And I observed a vehicle traveling at a very high rate of speed. The speed limit being 65 miles an hour on 675. I got behind the vehicle and caught up to him, and I was able to pace his speed at 90 miles an hour. And then I conducted, a traffic stop by activating my emergency lights and pulling him over to the right shoulder.
Okay. Was your speedometer working that day?
It was.
Okay. How did you know it was working?
It's tested through Clayton County's maintenance program.
Okay. Okay. And was this portion of I-675 within the boundaries of Clayton County?
Yes.
Okay. And when you made contact with Mr. Billingsley, did he make any statements to you?
He did. I explained to him the reason for the stop, and I told him that I had paced him doing 90 miles an hour, and he said, "No way I was doing 90. I was doing 85." And I said, "Well, the speed limit is 65, sir." And he said, "Oh, it's 65 here. I thought it was 75." And I said, "No, sir, it's 65." And then I went to my car and I wrote him a speeding ticket for doing 85 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. When I returned to give Mr. Billingsley the ticket, he said, "I hope you know what you've done. I'm a CDL driver. This is gonna mess up my career." And I explained to him that as a CDL driver, you have to know better. And I told him to have a nice night and drive safe.
See. Okay. Thank you. At this time, I have no further questions for you, sir.
Mr. Billingsley, do you have any questions for Officer Parks?
I do.
All right, you may ask those questions. Ask them one at a time, allow him to answer, and then proceed with your next question.
Okay, Officer Parks, hello, how you doing?
I'm fine.
When you got on the interstate, were you coming on an on-ramp to the interstate?
I did get on the interstate from an on-ramp, yes.
Yeah, and what ramp was that?
I don't recall.
It was two.
Objection, Your Honor, that's
Okay,
testimony.
so Mr. Billingsley, that's testimony. That's what we were cautioning you about. You can't tell him what to say, but you can ask him questions to elicit his response. And if he doesn't know, he doesn't know, so.
Okay. Well, could you see, you saw me when you got on the ramp?
I don't believe I saw you from the ramp. I believe I saw you as I was driving on 675 southbound.
Do you believe I could have seen you from where I was?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Overruled. You may answer that, Officer Parks.
I can't speak to that. I don't know. I wasn't stationary on the interstate. I was driving to another place on the interstate when I observed the vehicle driving at a high rate of speed.
Okay. When you pulled me over, what was the first thing you said to me?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm Officer Parks, the Clayton County Police Department. I stopped you because I paced you doing 90 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone.
Okay. Your Honor, the conversation was a little bit different. When I,
Okay, so Mr. Billingsley, If you're done asking questions of Officer Parks, then allow the state to finish presenting their case. And then if you wish to testify, I'll go over with you your right to remain silent and whether you're willing to waive that right. And then if you do waive that right to remain silent, then we'll hear your testimony.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
You
Officer
have-
Parks, okay, after you, gave me the, how did you give me the ticket?
What are you asking? I'm sorry.
What kind of a ticket did you give me?
I gave you a written citation on our Brazos e-citation machine.
It's like a phone,
Yes,
and I just signed the phone?
correct.
Okay. After, I got back on the interstate and you got back on the interstate, did you get off on the next exit?
I probably got off on either exit 1 or 2 because that's the end of our county.
How far were you on the interstate from the time you got on it to the time you got off of it?
So Clayton County runs from exit 7 to exit 1. So that's the length of that's how far I would have went.
Okay. So if I was to say you were on exit 2 to 1, how far would that distance be?
From 1 to 2, I don't know.
Okay. Would it be a mile? Could it be a mile?
It could be, but I don't know for certain.
Okay. How much time do you, in the training that you've had for pacing somebody, how much distance do you need to travel to accurately pace somebody?
There's no set distance.
No set distance? Okay, let me ask you something. What's more accurate when you're gonna give somebody a ticket? Is it radar, laser, or pacing? Which is the most accurate way to give somebody a ticket?
Your Honor, this is irrelevant. The officer's already said he's paced, and there's no point in bringing up these other methods of detecting speed.
That's a question.
Hold on, Mr. Billingsley. So Mr. Billingsley is on cross. He's entitled to a thorough and sifting cross. I'll let him have a little leeway. Mr. Billingsley, when I feel like you're going too far, I'll stop you.
Thank you.
So at the time, I wasn't LiDAR or radar certified. I am now, and I can say that I would primarily use LiDAR. However, pacing is still a good option if need be.
Okay, which is the most reliable is what I'm asking.
I can't speak to that. I don't know the science on it.
You're trained in radar as well?
I am.
In laser
Yes, sir. I am now. I was not at the time.
and pacing?
Yes, sir.
What are the requirements when you're learning when you're in training of pacing?
There is no,
pace?
I'm sorry.
How do you train to pace it? Is there a depth perception and time and travel, all that's involved, right?
There's no specific requirements for being able to pace someone for speed.
No requirements for pace. Okay, that's a good answer.
I'm glad you approve.
Was it dark?
Yes, sir.
Is it easier to pace somebody at night or in the day?
It's the same, sir.
It's the same.
Yes, sir.
Perception's no different. You know, I used to. Okay.
Objection, Your Honor. This is testimonial.
Okay. It's a question. Headlights. I'm asking him a question. Headlights look the same whether it's nighttime or daytime.
I wasn't looking at your headlights, sir. I was looking at your taillights.
Tail lights to any kind of lights at night. Are the lights, they look the same in depth perception and distance at night as they do today?
Yes, sir. I've been on the same shift for the last 3.5 years.
I rest my case right there. And, then I'll,
Sir, the state's actually presenting their case. Your case hasn't started yet. So, all right, Mr. Tipton, did you have any redirect?
I do, Your Honor. Officer Parks, were you wearing a body cam that day?
I was
Yes,
wondering
sir.
if she would say that.
And did the body cam capture the entire interaction?
Yes, it did.
Would the body cam have captured the interaction where he said that he was doing 85?
Yes, sir. Which is why I wrote him for 85 miles an hour and not 90.
Your Honor, may I share my screen?
You may.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're sharing audio. Is the court able to hear?
Yes, I hear.
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm Officer Parks of the Clayton County Police. Hey, turn it down. turn the radio down.
Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention to it.
I'm clear. So, is there any reason we're doing 90 on the expressway?
Officer, I'm telling you, I was doing 85 according to this.
Okay. So 85.
Yeah.
I got you. You got your ID on you?
Yeah.
What's the speed limit? 65.
Oh, that's 65 here?
Absolutely. All day
Well,
long.
man,
There's signs all over the place.
I've been away from home for 2 weeks and I worked all. I just got off work, man.
I got you.
Buford, and I'm trying to get home, man. I'll tell you.
Where's home at?
Fitzgerald.
I got you.
I'm so frustrated and everything. Hold on, I got it right there.
Mr. Parks, what did that just show?
It showed Mr. Billingsley admitting to driving 85 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone.
And you dumbassed your way out of it.
And what did he say? He saw that. What did he say he was going by to determine his speed?
His speedometer.
And did he give you a reason why he was going that fast?
He was just trying to get home. He'd been gone for 2 weeks and wanted to get home to Fitzgerald.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Mr. Billingsley, did you have any additional questions for Officer Parks?
yes, there was. How many speed signs are on I-75? I'm on I-65 that say 65 miles an hour.
I don't know exactly how many there are, but there's usually one at the beginning of the interstate and usually one after each exit. But I can't say for certain how many there were that night.
Yes. Could it be more than that, you say?
I really can't speak to how many were there that night. I can only tell you what there usually is.
Yeah. Did you tell me that they were all up and down there? They were marked all over the place?
Yes, sir, I did.
And but you don't know how many there were?
I don't.
Yeah. You're saying that they are many, though?
I'm saying that there's more than one.
Okay. At that point, more than one. Okay, what time of the day was this?
It was at nighttime.
Was there a lot of traffic out there?
No.
Okay. I cannot, well. I'm gonna, I've got more to say, but it's hard to do it in this kind of setup right here. So what's next?
All right, so we've finished with this witness. Mr. Tipton, did you have any other questions of Officer Parks?
No, Your Honor. At this point, the state rests.
All right, is Officer Parks able to leave at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Officer Parks.
Thank you.
Officer Parks, you're excused, be safe. All right, so Mr. Billingsley, the state has rested their case. They presented the testimony of Officer Parks. They presented the body cam evidence from the night in question. Sir, did you wish to give testimony in this? Please remember that as I instructed you, the state has the burden of proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt. You're not required to give any evidence or testimony. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. However, if you do want to give up that right and offer testimony and evidence, the court will hear it.
Yes, I would give up that right.
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, I do.
All right, put your hand down, sir. Tell me what happened.
Okay. I was, my argument here is, there's only one sign. I went back and looked. There's only one sign that said 65. And, you know, you can easily miss it by one semi. There was two semis, you know, that I was kind of traveling with. We were all kind of going the same speed. I observed this officer coming on to 675. I saw him coming on. So why would I speed? Well, I think, you know, intention. Now, when he got behind me, he was about like a football field behind me, 300 yards. And then he was catching with me. I shot, he pulled me over. So when he pulls me over, he, you know, caught me off guard. He's like, what are you doing 90 for? I wasn't doing 90. I had been doing 85, and I know that was speeding because I was trying to get home in 75. And why would it be, it could easily be missed, that speed sign. There's only one. And he got, my argument is that is exit 2. He got on exit 2 and pulled me over before he got to exit 1. He got back off of exit 1. That's 1 mile. And I don't think he had enough time to accurately pace me, other than me being honest about what I was doing previously. I was never doing 90, never. So his voice, when he come out there and said, you did 90, he was catching up with me. That was his speed to catch up with. He's never on my taillights. I would love to see, and I asked before when I came to the to say I wasn't guilty for the discovery of the vehicle's camera to show, that would show his speed and when he got on and when he got off the ramp. He was only on for not even a mile. It was 1 mile between exit 2 and exit 1. And my argument is he didn't have enough time, Your Honor, to accurately clock me or pace me to get an accurate speed. Yeah, he did. He said he gave me what I admitted to, but that's what I had been doing before. Also, there's only one 65-mile-per-hour sign, as I went back and looked at it. There's not many, like he said. So there's just some inconsistencies here, Your Honor. Also, I have a CDL because I drive children. I'm the backup driver for the school swim team. And without me, there's not going to be a swim team.
Okay, well then you can drive as fast as you like.
I asked him before.
All good.
I was telling him about my CDL. Yeah, this is going to, you know, like I said, now that was one of my concerns right there. My only concern, and I was willing to pay for that $100, was it being reported on my license, because for the school system, that's it. You can't do it. And I had a daughter that was on the swim team, and I was the backup driver on that. So that's what I was referring to him about. Wasn't about any other thing else. You know, I have a good driving record, and I had been away from home for 2 weeks. I had all my stuff in that vehicle. and I was trying to get home. It was 2 days before Christmas. I had Christmas music going, and he hollers, "Turn that music off." I was like, I was trying to have a nice trip home. I had a 3-hour trip ahead of me. I drove 3 hours to get here. And, but I'm just saying there's some inconsistencies, and I did look up some case law about some that's been dismissed. I didn't bring that up, but at nighttime, you cannot have the depth perception he said was the same as it is during the day. It is not. I used to work on the railroad, and that headlight, you would think, is a mile away, and it's more like 100 feet away. You cannot have the same depth perception on you can say, and that is something that he said had made no difference. So that's another argument that I have right there. But just the inconsistencies, and that's why I'm here today, saying there, and the fact that it was a pacing ticket at night, no traffic, and it was a one speed sign could easily be missed. So, and that's what I have to say right there, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Tipton, argument?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, ignorance of the speed limit does not excuse one from driving the speed limit. The officer testified that there were signs at the entry and exit ramp for every entry and exit point on I-675. The court did observe the defendant admit to driving 85 miles per hour and admit that he had been viewing his speedometer. Your Honor, if we were to, if the court takes into, I think it would be inappropriate for the court to take into account the defendant's CDL, as Your Honor is aware of the anti-masking laws. Your Honor, based on the facts of the case, based on the defendant's own admission on tape, based on everything the officer stated, the state would request that the court find the defendant guilty of speeding 85 and a 65. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Billingsley, I understand the argument that you're making, but Mr. Tipton is correct. I could lose my position on the bench, and it would be illegal for me to consider the fact that you're a CDL holder and making my decision when the law, particularly when the law suggests to the contrary. The officer has testified that he paced you. He indicated that he paced you at 90. He pulled you over. When he pulled you over, it may have seemed like he was yelling to you, but to me, it appeared that he was just trying to be heard over the Christmas music. And so he asked you, hey, you were going 90 out there. No, I wasn't. I was going 85. And then there was the information about there being some confusion about the speed. However, the old axiom is that ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so even if the speed limit had been 70 or 75 on that highway, you still would have been exceeding the posted speed limit per the law. And so in this case, the court will find you guilty. The officer said he paced you at 90, but he did not write the ticket for 90. He wrote it for 85, which is the speed that you admitted. You also admitted that here in court, as you did on the body cam video. So the court is going to find you guilty of the speed of 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. And Mr. Tipton, do you have a recommendation for the penalty?
A $300 fine, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Billingsley, I generally don't like to, give people a higher penalty just because they went to trial. So the offer, I guess, initially was $100 fine. The fine with the $100 fine with the surcharges would be $151.50. Did you wish to pay that today or have additional time?
Yeah, I pay it today.
Oh,
So it's
Sophie.
$151.50. When you leave the courtroom, you'll go downstairs to the second floor. When you come back through the double doors, you'll go to your left and you'll see the traffic court window. There they will accept your payment and they'll give you your paperwork as a receipt. And you'll be free to go after that time. Just don't leave the building without making that payment, okay?
Okay, they take credit card?
They do, sir.
Okay.
All right, take
Thank
care.
you for your time.
You're welcome. All right, so I believe unless I missed something, that concludes the 11.
I am the legal representation of my given name.
All right, that's all I got for you. Thanks for coming out. I don't have my thing set up. I did this on an emergency basis. It's just the way it is.
As you can see.